Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mahjong Talk. I'm your host Peter Vong, and if you're new to the channel, considering hitting the subscribe button, notification bell, dropping a like, or dropping a comment to help me improve this channel, because this is our channel, positive vibes you guys give me gives me motivation to make more content for you guys. So yeah, if there's some topic that you guys would like me to discuss, please drop it in the comments down below, and I will give you my personal take on it. Of course, I am just one person, so one person's opinion doesn't change the world that much, but at the same time, I want to help build up whatever it is there is to the conversation. I lost track of what I was going to say there. So yeah, let's get started. Okay. Hopefully this works. Yep. Okay. So I'm not doing my headphones today because I want to see if I can freestyle this, because whenever I do my headphones, I always feel like when I hear myself going at a slower speed, it just feels kind of weird and unnatural to me. So I decided to just do it without my headphones, but I had to actually kind of style my hair. I just put water on it and comb it a little bit. Hopefully it looks presentable to you guys, especially for, like a certain person in the universe that wishes to connect with me, by the way, I also have an Instagram and a Discord server, so if you like what you saw and you would like to join me on playing Mahjong, just join the Discord server, and basically we can talk and we can set up a schedule, and then we can just play together in Mahjong and Mahjong Soul. Okay, so the game's gonna start. So what I want to talk about is basically, I guess it's just a fun conversation about TV shows and movies. Me and my friends were total, I guess you can say we're total, like geeks and nerds. Like, some of my friends like to be considered geeks, some of my friends like to be considered nerds. I like to consider myself a nerd because I feel as if I'm not as hipster to be geek. But my best friend, my first best friend, who I met in middle school, he prefers to be called, I believe, a geek. But then again, I do not know, because he always changes his perception. Sometimes he likes to be a normie, sometimes he likes to be a geek. I don't know, but he doesn't like being called a nerd. And now I understand that, because I remember one time on Instagram, one of my friends, they kind of got offended when I basically typed, "This is how nerds party," and we were playing Mario Kart. And basically, when I typed that on Instagram once, this was my first Instagram account. This is not the Instagram account I had before now. So I typed in, "This is how nerds party," and basically, some of them got offended by that, and I did not know, because usually for me, I think being a nerd is a positive thing, but I guess to some people it's not. So yeah. So I wanted to talk about TV shows. The TV shows that I grew up watching, obviously you guys know that I love anime, but I also love American cartoons. American cartoons, especially from the 90s, they were very risque. I wouldn't say risque, but like they did have some adult jokes that I didn't catch when I was a kid. And it's kind of funny, because as adults we kind of think that kids will be able to catch that, but then again, kids are a lot smarter these days. At the same time, I've seen a video, I'll probably link it down below, that the Fine Brothers made, of kids actually watching adult jokes from like SpongeBob and they didn't get any of the jokes. So I feel as if, innocence is still there. Innocence is still there with children. So I don't think we have to worry about, oh no. Oh, yep, you win some, you lose some. 2,000 points, that's not bad. Anyway, so I try to think about what was my first cartoon that I watched. And I can't remember. I can't remember what was my first cartoon that I watched when I was a kid that I can remember. I know my first anime. My first anime was actually before I even know what anime was. It was Sailor Moon. A childhood friend of mine, a family friend. She was a tomboy. She loved hanging out with the guys, and it does explain a lot of things about me, because when I was younger, I would always find myself connecting more with the girls. I don't know why. Like some people would be like, "Oh, Peter, you're a player and everything like that, hang out with the girls and everything." It's like, I don't know. It's just, I guess for me, it's like maybe I was just a lot more connected to my feminine side. So I've been trying to look. I looked up the term for like the male converse, not converse. The opposite of a tomboy for guys, and apparently it's called tomgirl. And I can see why it doesn't catch on, because I guess a guy doesn't want to be considered a girl by any means. It's like looking up the opposite of a creep, because for guys, usually being a creep is, like, being a stalker or something like that. But we don't really look for a female version of that. And I kind of thought a funny one. So I thought of, okay, so there's a male creep. So does that mean we have a female shriek? I don't know if that's going to catch on. Don't be a female shriek, by the way. It's much creepier than being a creep. At least that's how the media portrays it. Anyway, getting back to TV shows. I mean, I grew up in the 90s. I'm a 90s child. You're the horse, if you're looking for astrological, the Chinese zodiac. And, okay, good. That was not me. I hate it when I drop a tile and the same person that wins off me more than once. I really hate that sometimes. Anyway, I keep getting off topic. Anyway, getting back to TV shows. I can't remember the first. Maybe it was Looney Tunes. I think Looney Tunes was my first cartoon. Because I would always remember watching Looney Tunes a lot when I was like binge watching Cartoon Network a lot. Actually, like back in the 90s, you had to pick either the Disney Channel or Cartoon Network. My parents thought, oh, he likes cartoons, so we might as well get Cartoon Network. The one thing that I kind of wish, it kind of sucked to have just the Cartoon Network, was that I couldn't watch DuckTales. I really loved DuckTales when I was a kid. And I think it would come on I think it would come on Kids WB, I believe, a long time ago. I don't remember when I watched DuckTales. I don't remember which channel it was. But, yeah, I really love DuckTales because when I was a kid with my family friends, if you guys saw the pilot, my childhood friend, Barry Soup, if you watch the pilot, he's in that. Me and him, we would hang out at each other's houses all the time because our parents were part of the same cultural community of Laotian people. And basically, I would draw maps. I would love it when cartoons drew maps because it would look so cool. And I would always draw maps whenever I went over to my friends' houses because it was like we would go in each other's backyards and we would pretend we were on a treasure hunt. It was so much fun. Sometimes I didn't get to use the maps because, technology came and we got so used to playing video games. But then again, when I think back on it, it kind of sucks that kids are not using their imagination as much. I mean, as much as I've experienced. Kids are more used to seeing the apps and stuff. And I think we have to bring back that sense of imagination back. My friends had really cool houses. They had really cool rooms. And I would draw these maps and we would pretend we were going through caverns and caves, even though we were just probably going up in the attic and crawling through boxes. It was just so much fun. And I think that's what kids in the 90s that are growing up now, they basically kind of miss that. They kind of miss that sense of wonder. And so, as I grew up, I tried to make sure I maintain that sense of wonder. That sense of wonder is very important. So, TV shows really influenced me a lot because I would quote television shows, I would quote movies a lot, movies especially. My friends are very good at quoting movies and television shows, and we would always know the reference right away. I'm pretty sure you have friends, especially if you're nerds and geeks, you definitely have those moments where you're reciting a SpongeBob line or something like that. In middle school, we would recite SpongeBob lines all the time. It would always be a riot. It would always be a riot. We never got tired of it. And you know, I remember what gets me through my workday, I would have to say, is me looking at the machine I'm operating, because I work in a credit card manufacturing vendor. So basically we make credit cards. And I operate the machine that puts the chips in your credit cards. So all I do is just look at that machine and making sure that it works properly. And I always make sure that the chips are in the cards correctly and straight. That's what I practically do the whole day for 8 hours. It used to be 12 hours, but thankfully, because of the pandemic, I was moved to the same shift that my mother was working on. My mom is still working working with me, so she actually got me the job. So I really have to thank her for actually making sure that I'm employed, and I am, thankfully. So getting back to that, I would always recite lines from my favorite movies and television shows. Whenever I was watching the machine operate, you know, like, you know, watching the conveyor belt, watching the cards go by, and making sure that the cards are going through their proper order and everything like that. And I would recite certain lines from movies that I like and television shows that I remember. I would even recite old kid shows that I watched. I would sometimes sing to myself the introduction to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and the outro to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood at times. And it would make me feel comfortable because it made me feel as if I was reconnecting with something that I can never go back in time to, until time machines are invented. So, you know, I would recite lines like from the Harry Potter movies, if you watch that. Actually, my favorite Harry Potter films are the first and second ones. I think it's because it's nostalgia, but also it kind of felt like the Wizarding World to me whenever I watched the first and second ones, because it had a flow and it felt like, yeah, it was meant to be a classic, and it is a classic. That's because the director Christopher Columbus, he also directed Home Alone, if you guys didn't know that. And he's really good. He's really good at making films classic, like have that classic feel to it. I don't know why. I don't know how he does it, but he's able to give that classic feel to films that he's directed. At least as far as I know, because I've seen, you know, the Home Alone series, the first two films. I didn't watch the whole trilogy, I don't know how many Home Alones they made, but I've only watched, I think, the first one, the second one, and the third one. The third one was it was okay, but, you know, it wasn't, you know, there was no Macaulay Culkin in it, so obviously, you know, it just felt like a totally different movie. But yeah, I would recite lines from like all my favorite movies and shows, because thankfully I wear a mask, so no one can see my mouth moving. That's what I really like about like the new mask provisions, because I can wear a mask and I can totally recite lines to myself and no one will know that I'm talking to myself, even though I do it every day. I do it every day. Even without the mask before, I would do it, but it would be embarrassing that someone would probably walk up to me and try to ask me something, and then suddenly I'm just reciting, like, you know, like a line from a movie or something like that. It's like if I'm reciting from The Matrix, like Agent Smith is like, I hate this place, this zoo, this prison, whatever you want to call it. I can't stand it any longer. It's the smell. If there's such a thing, I can taste your stink. And every time I do, I fear that I've somehow been infected by it. It's repulsive, isn't it? Imagine if you were like the supervisor and you heard your employee just say that to themselves. And it was like, is this dude crazy? Like, is he high on something? What the hell? You know, that sort of thing. And that's what I do. Like, that's what gets me through my workday. It's basically just reciting lines and just going into my own world. I really hate, I think I feel bad for my coworkers, because sometimes when I'm in that moment, I'm in that mode, I look like I'm pissed off whenever they ask me to do something, and I'm like, oh shit, like I don't mean to look pissed off. It's just that like I can't turn off the mode. I'm sorry, that sort of thing. And it really, like, it kind of like when you come back to reality and you realize that you're doing a job. I mean, it's not ear-shattering. I mean, it's not earth-shattering for me. It's just, I just find it relaxing to do that stuff. And I probably should be paying attention to the game. But then again, I love talking to you guys, so I just ramble on. I do this with my friends too. Sometimes I just end up realizing that I'm not paying attention when I'm talking, and then suddenly, like, somebody wins off me. But then again, when I play this game, winning doesn't really do it for me. It's when we get the big hands. That's when I really love the game. Especially when my friends get it. Because I can't get big hands either, because it's based on luck. But at the same time, I really enjoy it when somebody gets that big, huge, big hand, and then they cheer and they realize, oh my god, I'm winning after everybody. Because I love it when people have that positive adrenaline rush. So, yeah, like, I'm just big on television and like, I don't know why. I always remember, like, the most complicated quotes from movies. I don't know why. It's just that somehow they just stick with me in certain aspects. I remember there was a line from Back to the Future. It was in the second movie. It was in the second one of the trilogy, where Doc explains what would happen if one of the characters met their future selves in the future. And I don't know how I remember that line. I don't remember how I remember that line. It's like, I think the line goes, I'm not, like, now that I'm talking to you guys, sometimes the line just blanks out on me, because I actually have to perform for you guys. It's like, that's it. They're taking her home to your future home. We arrive there shortly, get her out of there, and go back to 1985. Wait, you get to see where I live? I'm going to see myself as an old man. No, Marty, that becomes old. Great Scott! Jennifer could conceivably encounter her future self. The consequences behind that could be disastrous. Doc, what do you mean? I foresee two possibilities. One, coming face to face with herself 30 years old and will put her into shock and send pass out. Or two, the encounter could create a time paradox, the results of which cause a chain reaction that can unravel the fabric of the space-time continuum and destroy the entire universe. Granted, that's a worst-case scenario. The result may be localized, even limited to merely our own galaxy. Well, that's a relief. I probably botched that line a bit because, like, I'm not used to telling people what lines I know unless I really am close with them. Because with my best friends, like, I can quote it quite easily because they're so used to me being an idiot. So, that's how television has influenced me. I have a lot of shows. I love shows that shows that basically revolve around a certain feeling to it. And I think I'll play another game because I'm just enjoying this conversation. Because I love talking about television shows. Actually, if any girls want to invite me on a date, let's talk about television shows. Especially retro television shows. I really like that. So this episode will probably be longer than my usual one. But this is a topic that I feel most comfortable talking about. Television shows, movie quotes. Let's see, what can I do with this? Because I also got to focus on the game as well, so, because the last game I didn't do that well. Actually, I got to challenge myself with this. Whenever I do these videos, I got to challenge myself to see if I can win one game while I'm talking to you guys. That way I can be better at winning games whenever I play with my friends. Let's see. But, yeah, like, there's so many movie quotes, like, if you guys have seen The Matrix, Matrix Reloaded, the second one, I don't know how. It's just that I love the scene where Neo, the main character, the MC, he meets this character called the Architect. And the Architect is basically this character that's supposed to mimic, I would have to say, the main computer, the main CPU of the computer, I think. I'm not sure exactly what real-life computer component he's based off of. But the Architect is supposed to be this godlike figure that basically is the person or the being that created the Matrix. And I remember every single line of the scene when Neo actually meets up with him. I'm not going to recite it because it's a completely boring dialogue. But I don't know how. It's filled with complicated words like, an ergo or like there's so many complicated words in that even a human being wouldn't recite those lines. In fact, actually, when I watched the behind the scenes of Matrix Reloaded, I believe in the interview with the actor that played the architect, he said it took 3 days to actually do that scene. And actually, Keanu Reeves, who plays Neo, he actually had to help him do those lines. Like, he actually had to help him, like, acting-wise, doing those lines. And when I think about that, I'm like, damn, it must have been a real hard scene. And it is a hard scene because it's a lot of dialogue. The actor's not doing anything except sitting in an armchair. So, just everything is nothing but dialogue. And dialogue scenes can take a lot out of you. I mean, like people that do solo podcasts, like what I'm doing. I don't even, if anyone knows what niche my channel is, drop it in the comments down below what type of niche you think my channel is. Because I'm not a gamer, so I don't consider this a gaming channel, but I'm kind of doing it like the way gamers would do it. Like they would basically just talk into the camera and basically just play the game. But at the same time, I'm not playing any other games besides this. And, and it's still fun. But the more enjoyment I get is talking to you guys because it's kind of like therapy for me. And I think I'm talking better without my headphones because now I'm not hearing another voice in my head, which is basically the relay of the recording. Hopefully, I tested the recording without the headphones, and the sound still goes through. So hopefully, I come out clear and not lagging because I noticed that when I wear the headphones, my voice tends to lag because I'm trying to either catch up or I'm trying to speed beyond the recording of the voice being relayed into the output. And I noticed that a lot of podcasters that I watch, most of them don't wear headphones. At least as far as I know, some of them don't wear headphones because I think they just record themselves just talking and they try to make sure that the sound quality is good. But then again, I'm still learning how to build this channel. So if you guys have experience editing or audio software or whatevs, drop it in the comments down below and tell me how I can improve. How can I improve and make my audio quality sound better or anything like that. I actually just purchased a microphone that that one of the channels that I've watched. It's mainly about cryptocurrency. He's known as the Modern Investor, I believe his channel's name, and he basically just talks about cryptocurrency. But I like the way his voice sounds and the mic he uses, and he actually links his mic in the descriptions. So I actually was able to get it for a good deal. So the sound quality might be a little bit different in the next video, but I'm not sure. I have to actually test it. So don't hold me on that. So I'm basically still learning as I go. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, television and movie quotes. I gotta make sure I get back on the topic right there. But this is what it is. This person looks like they're about to be ready. Oh, this person has a lot of shinies right here. So if you guys don't remember, the shinies basically say that I have 3 ranks. So there's 3 shinies, so 3 ranks. So 3 ranks up. So this person is going to get a lot of points if they win. I'm thinking this person is going for all triples right here. So getting back to television, movie quotes, all that stuff. Like my friends, we would quote things from like the Fairly Odd Parents. What other shows? A lot of movies too. If you guys have seen The Matrix, the first one, I don't remember which character it was. I think his name was Cypher in the movie. He basically talks about a steak. I'm pretty sure you guys who have seen the movie know that scene. It's like, I know the steak isn't real, but when I put it in my mouth, the Matrix is telling me that it's nutritious and it's delicious. So, some people would be like, this reality isn't real and everything like that. The Matrix was a big revolutionary film that basically made people question reality. And there's actually a branch of physics that actually talks about that topic. It's called the Holographic Principle. But that's for another video. If you guys want me to talk about like what I learned from, because you guys who have watched the channel kind of know that I have an interest in theoretical physics and mathematics. But if you're new to the channel, I'm really into physics and mathematics. I don't know how to write mathematical proofs. I haven't passed a mathematical level past Calculus 2. I barely passed Calculus 2. I got an A in the class, but I don't remember everything I learned from Calculus 2. So this is me just basically trying to relearn the math I've kind of forgotten over the years. I didn't get into math and physics until later in my college career. And I haven't majored in like, computer science or physics or mathematics at all. I was actually an English major back in college. So, like now, the shows I watch are mainly like, I think it's more targeted towards young adults and probably like, maybe some shows that are young teenagers. I did watch Riverdale when it came out. Riverdale was a decent show. I watched it with my ex because my ex was really into Archie. And so she introduced me to the show. In fact, my ex introduced me to some of the shows that I watch now. I watched The Flash. I watched Arrow because of my ex. And, I never regretted watching those shows. I love The Flash because it basically talks about time travel and physics, a little bit of physics jargon here and there. And I would be like, ooh, they're talking about that idea from physics and everything like that. So, I love shows that basically take something that's... I guess I love shows that mix magic and science together. I love shows like that. And the one show that I really, really love that does this, they do it very well, is Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who. Doctor Who, I would have to say, is a show that is able to take the magic of Harry Potter, but yet the technicalities of science fiction and put them together. So in Doctor Who, if you haven't seen the show, it's basically about, I will say the way David Tennant introduced the show. Actually, the way he said the show is like. The show is about a girl in a blue box that travels throughout time and space. That's basically the summary of the show. I don't know if you can watch it on Netflix anymore. I don't think you can watch it on Netflix anymore. I know it's on HBO Max. I know because, funny story, I was trying to stream the new Mortal Kombat movie that just came out, and I noticed that they had Doctor Who on it. Now I don't know if I should unsubscribe to HBO Max because it had a lot of old shows that I love to watch, such as Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The Flintstones, the Jetsons, all the classics are on there. And now I'm debating whether I should unsubscribe or not because there are times when I really, really want to watch those shows. And, I'll probably hold it for a month or two and then probably unsubscribe later if I don't really, really use it. Because, for me, I try to conserve my money, especially since, if you guys know from watching the channel, the old-timers that watch the channel. I'm not saying you're old, I'm just basically the people that have subscribed to the channel previously. You guys know that I still live with my parents. And, money is very important to sustain life. Not sustain life, I would have to say... Sustain a way of living, So, every penny counts. And, since I live with my parents, I do admit I kind of worry that I'm not growing as much. But at the same time, I'm thankful to my parents because they allow me to save my money. As long as I help out whatever I can with, dealing with, helping my parents read certain documents because my parents are immigrants. They immigrated from Thailand. So, they can't read documents very well, so I have to actually translate for them, especially for my father. My father always asked me to say things for him because he has a very thick accent. So his accent, like even to someone who knows Thai and Laos, if he speaks English to them, they won't get it. They won't get it. And, you know, I think that's a conundrum that most immigrants deal with, is that they like some of them have very, very thick accents. And my father, he's also very particular. He's a perfectionist. So if something doesn't go his way, he gets a little bit antsy. But I think that's everybody. So, you know, so getting back, Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who because it mainly carries a certain mystical feeling to it. But even though it's about an alien who travels in a blue box, taking a human throughout time and space, there are certain stories in Doctor Who that revolve around not just like aliens, but also ghosts, mystical creatures, you know, certain legends. And for some reason, they're able to take the magic of those legends, like, you know, the mystical parts of those, and somehow turn it into something about science. So basically, well, typically, Doctor Who, many of the people that cast in Doctor Who, like the actors, they will say Doctor Who makes no absolute sense. But whenever I watch it, since I've read, like, you know, books on, you know, on science, as well as the science in science fiction, I feel as if Doctor Who does make sense. It does make sense from what I've read as a layman's person, because I'm not a scientist. Some scientists would argue that maybe Doctor Who does not make sense at all. But I believe in my experience reading, you know, layman's term science books, it kind of feels like it makes sense, but at the same time, I think that's the magic of it. And also the magic of television is that they're able to take, like, probably convoluted things and turn it into something that does make sense and something that actually can make a very good, concrete story. So, you know, I love shows that blends elements together. And magic, I was really into magic. Not only, like, magician tricks, but also, like, you know, I was into Harry Potter. I was into the Harry Potter films, and that's what got me into the Harry Potter books. But I didn't read all the books. As I said, my favorite Harry Potter films are the first one and the second one, because Harry Potter was the thing that introduced me to going into other worlds, I believe. Ooh, I'm gonna pay a heavy price. Ooh, this person got a big Yakuman. Wow. I lost to a big dragon. Well, then again, I'm in second place, so I don't have too much to worry about. But actually, I'm just going to give this person congratulations. That's my version of a congratulations right there. You know, Yakuman is like just the big, like the luckiest hands you can get in this game. So I have to congratulate that person. See, I love it when people get Yakumans. Even though it's on me, I was lucky. I actually built up. I actually built up a lot of points. So now I'm still in second place. So I guess I got lucky with that Yakuman drop. So yeah, I'm also watching a show called The Nevers on HBO Max. It's a really interesting show. It combines like the elements of magic and a little bit of steampunk, which I also like. I also like steampunk. I guess it has to have that sort of pleasant but yet sort of mysterious feeling of a show that I like. I also watch cop shows. I also watch like Law and Order SVU and the new one, Law and Order Organized Crime. The Organized Crime Unit, I believe it's called, or Organized Crime. I don't remember what the title is, but I watched those two shows. I also watched Criminal Minds when it came out. Actually, Criminal Minds was the show that got me into criminal profiling. I bought like a couple of books on the subject, and it's a dark subject. I tell you, it's a really dark subject. There were times when I actually bought, like, I think a lot of books from this one criminal profiler. His name is dang, what's his name? Shoot, I forgot the author's name, but he's a very famous criminal profiler. He's the author of Mindhunters. And when I read those books, I began to read more of his books. And the more I read those books, I had a reputation in high school for being a little bit of a creep. I'm not proud of admitting that, but at the same time, that's in the past. And, you know, I was a bit of a loner, and also I couldn't communicate very well. It wasn't like I had a stutter or anything. It's just that I was just very shy. And I was also very cautious and very introverted. And when I read traits about, like, you know, what serial killers shared, I began to get myself paranoid, because I was like, oh no, am I becoming a serial killer or something like that? You know, like that sort of thing. That's not something that I'd like to admit. But at the same time, when I thought about it, when I was honest with myself, I love crime documentaries. And I guess I just have a really bad sense of curiosity, in the sense that I would watch crime documentaries for the sake of, how did they catch the criminal? Like, you know, what's the mindset of this criminal? And then when you actually watch it, you begin to regret learning that information. But, you know, I'm just really into, like, my curiosity goes both ways. Ooh, this one's a half flush. So this person might beat me, I think. Oh, this person did not get second place. Oh, that's surprising. Well, that's it. Now, I know I went longer than I usually do, but television shows are the big topic I talk forever. So, if you guys like the movie quotes I put in, drop it in the comments below. If you like the video, considering like and subscribing. And final note, let's see what I get first. I want to see how much I didn't get that much. Okay, I got a little bit of copper right there. That's good. Back to the main menu, and I will default back to my main screen here. Okay, good. So hopefully I went longer than I expected, but, you know, as I said, television, movies, I can go on forever. It's the same thing with me talking about physics, time travel, and mathematics and all that stuff. There's a lot of beauty in the world, and I think it all comes from movies. Our perception of society is from movies. So this is how I get my positive vibes, not only from movies and reading books, learning things, but also from you guys. So if you're a subscriber, hit a like, drop a comment down below on what I should do for the next video, because I love spitballing. I love it when people spitball, and then I basically just try to amalgamate all those ideas and make it into one. Because this is our channel. This is our channel, and I really appreciate making videos for you guys, and it's always going to be a lot of fun. So if you're new to the channel, considering hitting the subscribe button, dropping a like, as well as dropping a comment. Tell me what you like, what you saw. Tell me what I can improve on. You know, everything counts. Every comment, I read every comment. And also, don't forget, if you want to DM me or anything, I have Instagram. I have Instagram, as well as Discord that I will leave in the links. I will leave the links down below. So, yeah. So, that's it for this episode of Mahjong Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.